podcast. Will, it's a special day, Will. It's not often that you and I get to talk to just golf royalty. Absolutely. But today, we have a 72-time LPGA champion. Her accolades, Will. This woman's played 16 years on the LPGA. She missed 9 cuts, 10 major champions. I don't even know who it is no more. Who are we talking to today, man?
We talking to the individual that is often imitated, but never ever duplicated.
Never.
The greatest of all time. When she walks, we want to take notes because she has GOAT status, right? We're talking to the one and only, the greatest to ever do it.
Ever.
Annika Sorenstam.
I feel like she needs a middle initial.
She does.
Like Annika, I think J. I'm lying. Annika's she's the only golfer that don't need no name. She only needs the Annika. Like, if I say we talking to Annika, everybody knows who the hell I'm talking about. She like the Beyonce of golf.
I believe that, yeah. That's good. That's pretty good. That's Cher. What's Darth Vader's son name? Or what's Darth Vader? Luke Skywalker.
Did you say Darth Vader with a TH?
It's not Darth Vader. I think it's Darth Vader. I don't think it's Darth Vader. I think everybody thinks it's Darth.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Is it Darth? It is Darth Vader? I thought it was Darth Vader.
It's not dark. It's nothing about this Vader is dark. It's Darth Vader. I'm so glad we're having this conversation right now. You'd think you would have that in your air traffic control headphones. Annika, I'm so sorry. We were trying to go somewhere, but we got Will.
Hold on, Doug. I'm not done with you. What is Anakin? What's
Anakin?
Anakin
Skywalker. Yeah. Well, it's not Anakin Skywalker. It is. Isn't it? It's too early for me.
It's one word.
I'm giving you all the energy I got on a Tuesday. What's today? Monday morning. You know what I mean? It's Anakin. That's the dude's name. There you go, Anakin. It's Anakin.
So you say Anakin, you know who you're talking about, just like Annika. There we go.
Wow. Okay. I had other points to make, but we'll talk about it on the back end. Let's just go ahead and get to it. Right now, let's go Beyond the Fairway with Annika. Beyond the Fairway podcast, it's rare that we have just someone of this magnitude, Will, that thinks we're cool enough to come in here and speak with us today. So, Annika Sorenstam, welcome into Beyond the Fairway.
Thank you. Great to be here.
That's Miss Annika Sorenstam, Doug.
Hey, she's earned it, and that's how I should have said it. But she gave me the pass before we pushed the button, Will. So I'm gonna just I'm enjoy this time that we have. Annika, let's get right into it. Behind you, I see you in a robe. I'm assuming it's post Poppy's Pond jump at the ANA. What's your take on this tournament moving? I love that championship, and now it's gone.
I love that championship too. Actually, I love it 3 times. No, it's a great tradition. Watching it growing up with Dana Shore and Amy Alcott, really doing the initial plunge. I thought that was amazing. And then since then, as we know, it's evolved quite a bit. And, when I jumped in the first, actually all 3 of them, it wasn't such a fancy spa-looking thing that it is today. But the tradition is, you can see the robe. I have a robe at home that I use and the red shoes. It's, quite a memorable time for me. But I also understand that, business is business. You got to move on, new sponsorships. And, they have to try to create their own history and new traditions moving forward. But it's too bad for some of the young ones that won't be able to experience that. They might just have to go there for fun and jump in.
Coming from a business standpoint, when you say business is business, that has to look pretty aesthetically pleasing when it comes to the LPGA receiving a mainstream sponsor such as Chevron.
Absolutely. And also, look at the purse. Look at the investment they're making. I think it's great that they're, getting into women's sport and one of the top companies in the world and, want to commit to golf. I think it's fantastic. And, they will have their own niches. They will have their own things and make it a nice event. I think they sign on for quite a few years, too. So it's a long-term commitment. And I think it's good, the LPGA, to associate with these type of companies. So, this is a good and a bad with it.
Yeah, doesn't it piss you off just a little bit It's like, really? I retire and now all this stuff starts popping? Like, as a player that helped lay the foundation for these things, does it feel weird or does it like just part of the growth and the maturation of the tour?
I guess it's just part of the growth and kind of where we're going today. I mean, so many things have changed. I mean, look, when I played, and you probably had Kathy Whitworth thinking, what are they doing now? We didn't do this at our time. And so, I'm just hoping that it's for the better. Let's just hope it's for the better, better for women's golf, for girls golf, and golf in general. I mean, I think that's really would be the best thing. And like I said, it's, they find their own tradition but I'm not going to remove this cleaning, though. I'm going to keep it. This is a great place.
Since being retired, Annika, what are some of the culture shifts that you're most excited about? Being in this having this retired platform.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have social media. Yeah, we didn't have social media. I mean, that is probably the biggest thing I've seen that's changed. And the courses that they're playing now. I love the courses that they're playing. When I stepped in 2008, I think we played St. Andrews then at the British Open, and that was the first. Really classic golf course. Since then, the U.S. Open is taking it to really cool courses, and the KPMG LPGA Championship. I mean, they go into classic courses. So I think the tour is in great shape. I really do. Technology has helped them, and it's making better. So it's fun. I mean, I'm still kind of part of it. I don't necessarily play, of course, but being out there and being connected with the players and being part of all of that, it's fun to see kind of the change and the evolution of the game.
So when you talk about being part of still being connected to the game, Annika, you and I see each other every year, either the Diamond Resorts or Tahoe, and I appreciate all the pointers you've given me over the years. With the crosshand, and I love your candor. I love your candor. But I want to know, when you're playing Tahoe, right, Annika, you're a great player. I follow you all the time, out of Tahoe, and I see you on a range grinding this past year. Mm-hmm. You were leading Tahoe at one point. You were leading Tahoe. You was, back and forth between top 5 and lead.
Yeah.
I had to ask, is there a little bit of point shaving there? Did you feel sorry? Did you feel sorry for the guys? Did you like, hey, I do not want to beat these guys so bad? Are you trying shots? So you say, hey, I'm going to do all draws today.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's the competitor in me. Just want to give it away.
Yeah, I doubt that. But Annika, you were so we had, the podcast set up on the range this year, and I actually stalked you from a distance while you were practicing. And I know you had the U.S. Open a couple weeks later, U.S. Women's Senior. And but you were grinding that day. What was it like to get prepared? And were you using the event in Tahoe to help you get prepared for the Women's Open?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as I stepped away 13 years ago, and some things just come very natural back to me, but some things it's just you kind of feel like I'm starting over. I gotta grind, I gotta work on the fundamentals. I gotta find the rhythm. I gotta, start hitting it solid. And when you play up there in Tahoe, as I mean, that field is good. These guys can play. And, I know that I really have to do my best to be up there. So, and knowing we had the big tournament coming up, I wanted to try to get in the tournament mode, in the tournament routine of warming up, having that pre-shot preparation and then going out there on the course and trying to, go back to the old vintage Annika, the way I used to do it, fall into place.
So, well, that's a good question though, vintage Annika. What, how did you get prepared for the U.S. Women's Senior? I know you did play a Tahoe event, but when it came to day in, day out, you have a family now. I have a son myself. I can't practice. I got a tournament coming up, so I'm trying to pick your brain here. So, how did you structure your time to be able to be the old Annika?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a total new chapter for that reason. When I played, it was all about Annika the golfer. Every day was scheduled to practice, to work out, to, whether it was travel or it was tournament, or sponsor obligations, you name it. Nowadays I have, I wear so many different hats. Just this morning, you just wake up and, your mother and then your wife and then an Uber driver and then you take them here and there. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I have this amount of time to practice, and you put the golfing hat on. And so the amount of time that I have today is, it's not even near what it used to be, and it's not near what it really needs to be either. But, you try to be effective with your time, that hour or maybe that 2 hours that I have. So I'm a lot more efficient with my time. But I also have to come in with the attitude of, my expectations are, of course, a lot different, and they have to be. Otherwise, I wouldn't enjoy doing it. I've lost some distance, I've lost some accuracy, but it's taken me, almost 10, 11 years to accept that and say, you know what, it's okay. Look at, I'm not, in my 30s. I happen to be in my 50s, and now I got kids and all those things in a business. So I think you just have to, make sure that your expectations line up with the amount of time that you have, so that you can enjoy that and not go out there and feel like it's the end of the world. When I used to make a bogey, I felt like, oh, now it's like, you know what? My kids are still going to like me. I still have to do this when I get home. And it's just a different perspective. And for me, that works. But, I can understand how some people would say, if I can't do it 100%, I'm not doing it.
That's how I feel.
So is it safe to say the first tee box of the U.S. Senior U.S. Women's Open this year was a little bit easier than the 2003 Colonial?
Just a touch. But, it's interesting how you still kind of get nervous on the first tee, even though you've done it, so many times. And I always, when I mentor these young girls, I talk about the first tee jitters or first tee preparation. And, you can talk about it all day long, but when you stand there and the way that you feel, it's just, you cannot always prepare other than just, okay, enjoy the moment, take a big breath, focus on, the positive things. But still, you care. You stand there and people, your friends, are they watching? Or maybe there's some fans and they're cheering for you. And you want to do well, right? I mean, who wants to go out there and chop it around?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Will, she's still Annika Sorenstam. So
right,
at some point, Annika, was there a gear that kind of kicked in? I mean, you did win by, 9, 8 shots? Was there a gear that kind of kicked in where you kind of felt like you were in a time machine and went back to where you were beating everybody up?
I used to have this extra gear, and I can tell you that when my last season came in 2008, I realized that gear was no longer there. And I think that was a little bit of a disappointment, knowing I'm already in my final year. There wasn't that extra, and that was, I used to have that. But I'm going to say at the U.S. Women's Senior Open on Sunday, I woke up and I felt very different. I felt I was calm, I was collected. I was just at peace. I went to the putting green, I was chipping, and all of a sudden I felt I had better feel than all the other days. And I was excited to play. I thought it would be a little different. I thought I would wake up and be kind of shaking in my boots, but it wasn't like that.
So now that, you're victorious and, Will, your son, is a little older now. Mm-hmm. How are you receiving all the accolades now that Will is kind of, comprehending what's going on with mom? Yeah, well, it's fun. He's been my practicing partner it's been over a year, right? When a little bit after COVID started, we moved out together and chip and putt and hit. And, then I started to grind and he started to grind. He's now playing some U.S. Kids events. So I'm, taking turns caddying with Mike there. But it's fun. I mean, he now understands it. But he's become a golf nut. He just loves golf, but he still asks me all these questions. What's your favorite golf course, Mommy? What's the toughest hole you've ever played? And I mean, he's a big sponge when it comes to golf, and it's fun that we share that passion. But he lives golf, whether it's golf games or golf on TV or we go out together. He's always kind of challenging me, so it's fun.
Okay, I heard a rumor, Annika, and I got to talk about this because I need to dig deep. I know that you have a passion for culinary expertise. Mm-hmm. So I want to know, is it true that you spent time in the kitchen in Lake Nona honing your craft in the culinary space? That is true, yes. See, I thought somebody told me a joke.
No,
that is true.
No, I did. I was it was not in the middle of the season. It was in January when I had an off season, but it was in kind of my prime time on the tour. I worked there 3 days a week for 6 weeks, every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I mean, it was hard work. I have a passion for food and, like you said, culinary experiences. I'm far from an expert, but I do enjoy it, especially being on the road. You can imagine, just eating at restaurants all the time. And I really like to know what I'm putting in my body, knowing, and then just being a little bit more educated and having fun with it.
So, is there a particular dish that you like more than others, or?
I used to be a pasta fan, and I still am, but I have to kind of tone down on some of the carbs. But my favorite dish is just the regular pasta bolognese that I made, and actually that was my first dish I made for my husband, and I don't know if that was the thing that made him,
might have been it.
Maybe or maybe not. I'm not sure, but that we always talk about the pasta bolognese. It's something we do on Sundays of the Masters, because we sit there, it cooks all day, and then we watch, the last 18 holes, and it's kind of a tradition we have.
Now, speaking of Sunday of the Masters, there's always a champions dinner. Now, I have to ask you, as Chef Annika, Chef Annika, what would be your dish for the Money's at the Masters? What would be the champions dinner?
Other than pasta, I'm a big seafood person. I would just order every seafood there is. Sea bass will probably be my main dish. I love the way they prepare, just like in a miso, glaze of some kind. But then, shrimp, crab, lobster, oysters. And then I'll probably do a banana split as a dessert.
Oh, okay. That's pretty.
I think that's more of a classic American dessert, but I just love it.
Well, no Swedish flair in there? Nothing we're going to add in there?
Well, I guess maybe being the seafood, if you want to throw in little, Swedish salmon, you can do that. Or a little herring, that will go down too.
All right, well, email me some. I want to taste all of these things.
I'll just come over on Sunday. I'm sorry. I just come over Sunday.
Yeah, you just pull up. Annika, in your seat right now, as you've come through the ranks and you've retired, you've won, I still can't fathom. I saw something yesterday that was unbelievable to me. You played in nearly 300 events, and you only missed 9 cuts. Like, I don't know how anybody does that. That's like the model of perfection. But from your seat, what is the state of the women's game right now?
I think women's golf is in a great place. I think Mike Wan did an excellent job for the years that he was there. He brought in the players, the sponsors, the tournament organizers, the thing, and the media all together on one platform. I think they did an excellent job, and just kind of highlight some of the stars, some of the superstars for sure. And, just made, I think, women's golf attractive. So, now we have a new commissioner, Molly. We wish her the very best, of course. I think the LPGA is in good shape. I mean, I know a lot of players. I think they're great ambassadors for the game. They do a good job, sharing stories off the course to kind of personalize themselves. And, the quality of the golf is excellent. It really is. So, I mean, I'm a big fan. And, I think the only thing that I would say is we need to be on TV. On TV, you're seen and you're heard. If you're not, I mean, I know we're on Golf Channel, but not everybody gets the Golf Channel. And a lot of times it's actually tape delayed, and you already know it. So why turn it on? It doesn't have the excitement. So, but it's like anything. There's if there's demand is there, hopefully we'll get on TV a little bit more. But I'm pleased what they've done. And I mean, as you know, I focus a lot on junior girls. I think that portion of the game is healthy. We now have about 34% of our juniors are girls compared to 15 years ago. It was about half of that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So
that, sometimes you got to look at statistics and say, where are we today, where we used to be, and set some goals from here. But I think overall golf, I mean, COVID has been, such a tough thing for so many and such a,
great for golf.
Yeah.
Great for golf.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's golf has been a good sport for that. So I'm very thankful.
I heard a stat on, there's a stat the National Golf Foundation has that, an age bracket between 1834, 5 million individuals said they're interested in taking up the game for the very first time. And I think all that is credit to, from the COVID, unfortunate pandemic, but also to the fact that they're starting to see more golf on TV. A lot of off-course platforms are coming about. So, LPGA is definitely moving, trending in the right direction. Yeah,
and just to add to that, I mean, I think golfers on the PGA Tour and the LPGA, I mean, they're great role models.
Absolutely.
Look at them. I think, people just like to, to be one of them, the top players. So I think, they represent themselves in the sport very well.
So, Annika, here's, one of the more polarizing kind of topics, in my opinion, around women's golf right now. Jin Young Ko and Nelly Korda. In your estimation, looking at the body of works, we got 3 wins from Nelly. We've got 4 wins from Ko. who should be the player of the year?
I know that's a really it's really difficult. As you know, we do it by points. The PGA Tour is more by votes, which is a little different. Nelly got off such an amazing start. I don't think Ko was playing early in the year. I think she might have been somewhere else. Didn't really play that well, but Nelly got off to such a hot start, and I think she kind of set the tone, and now it's changed a little bit. So it's a long race, as you know. It's good to have a good start, but you have to finish too, right? I mean, you have to finish the race. So I think those stories are compelling. It's good for the game, and hopefully they can make a bigger story of it. I mean, first of all, they're both two very good players, as we know. The little different type of style. I mean, Nelly, I would say, is a little bit more aggressive player, hit the ball a little further. This American youth, of course, and then Ko is a little different. I mean, just very smooth swing. I don't see really any weaknesses. And she represents the South Korean aspect of players too, making it more global. So yeah, it's a fun time to watch.
But to that point, Annika, do you feel that the LPGA should reevaluate how they do the Player of the Year points? Is that fair that you're measured on this whole year versus a vote to say who we think? Because I don't know how they, weight the end of the different tournaments and things.
Well, they've been doing that for years. When I won Player of the Year, I liked the way it was.
Well, you've only done it, 8, 9, 10 times?
Yeah, so, for that reason, I really like it. I think it's more fair rather than having people's opinion. And, like I said, I mean, a lot of people would say, you know what, I think Yin Ko is probably the person right now because she's the one that's hottest on our mind. But if you think of Nelly, she really started out well. So I think it's a little bit more objective, to be fair, because it's consistent. It's a year. It's literally, 12 months, maybe not 12, but certainly 11 months of playing out there. It has to do with consistency. It has to do with how much you play. And I do think it's evenly fared points from a major and a regular tournament. So should you look in consideration, other things like more point, for scoring average, should that matter maybe? I don't know. It's tough to tell. I think so far it's been pretty good. And if you look at all the years, it's been pretty fair. It's been the ones that really played the best. So I wouldn't really mess with anything that's not broken at this time.
So where we are right now in today's game, and we see all these new, I guess, women who are great golfers as well as superstars. Mm-hmm. Does the competitive nature ever come out of you saying, hey, I wish I was in my prime so I can really, go against the best of Kelly, the best of all the women out there? So, I mean, is there ever a point to where, like, I would like to see her in my prime?
Of course, I think about, where do I stack up in today's generation? Where would I be? Then you start looking back, and I don't want to change the last 13 years. They've been fantastic, and I love being a mom. I love being a wife, and with my businesses, I love that thrill of it. But of course, you always think, where would I be today, and how would I do against them at my prime? You think about that, but then you're like, okay, then the doorbell rings, and you got to go. Right. So it changes, but it's fun. When I played here at the LPGA Gainbridge at the Lake Nona in February, I was around all these girls, and it was fun to see them. But then you just realize, things have changed, and, they're half my age. I think if you put Nelly and Jeff Porter's age together, I don't even think it adds up to mine. So it just is what it is, right?
So, Annika, you just mentioned about, helping kids and grow the game and young women grow in the game. I want to talk about the Annika Foundation. What are some of the verticals that you guys are working on for 22?
Well, thanks for asking. The Annika Foundation has now, I started in the end of 7. So, we're getting up there to our 14th year. And it's all about inspiring the next generation of young girls. And it's funny, many of these girls that we're talking about, Nelly and Jessica, they've all played in some of our events at one point. And many of the younger ones have been part of the intercollegiate tournament we have. So 7 global tournaments. We have over 600 that play every year. We have over 100 that play on the LPGA and several hundred that play on on the Symetra Tour. And it's been great to just be able to get back to the game of golf, to say thank you, share my experiences, share my knowledge, whether it's in the college event where we also try to inspire them by giving out the best collegiate award for the Division I player, presented by Stifel. That's been a great thing just to encourage them to continue to work hard. And, other than those 7 tournaments, we do something we call Share My Passion. It's more of a grassroots initiative where we have 40 young girls ages 6 to 12. They come in for a few hours. We teach them about nutrition and fitness, and I do a clinic for them and the little teaching stations. And sometimes we tie it in with a golf tournament where they get to see behind the scenes. It could be the media center, it could be the gym, or, something that might interest them, and they meet some players. So we try to just inspire the next generation in different ways. And, we've always felt like girls need to hang out with other girls to really kind of start that interest. And it's been great. I mean, I love being there. I go to all of them. I spend time with these young girls, and, it's so fun to see them grow up and mature, whether it's, Nellie's a good example. So, someone who played junior golf to being number 1 in the world. That's just kind of, it's cool to see.
No, absolutely. All right, now, Annika, probably the hardest question that we ask all of our guests. We call it Rap Foursome right here on Beyond the Fairway podcast. I doubt you've ever been asked this, and I'm glad we are the firsts. You are going to go play golf with 4 rappers, Annika. I don't care if they're dead or alive. I don't care if they play golf or not. I just want to know, who can you go vibe with on the golf course and enjoy your time walking through the grass with 4 rappers? Who would it be? 4. Rap Foursome right here.
Yeah, you're right. I've never gotten this question, so I don't know if they golf. I don't know if they are alive. And the first one is Eminem, okay?
Oh,
the reason why is I actually have some of his songs on my Spotify.
Okay.
So I have to admit to that. I was going to sing one, but it totally blocked my mind. Then we have Nicki Minaj. I think you have to have a woman in this foursome.
Okay.
I'm not really sure how she is going to look walking down the fairway, but that would be quite an experience.
That would be entertaining. I'm on the next flight out.
You might have a little audience. And then Drake. And then my last one will be, what's the guy that's married to Beyonce?
Jay-Z. That's who it is.
Isn't he a rapper? Oh, yeah. Birdies and pars.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
how you do it. That's how you wrap up this episode. Annika Sorenstam, thank you so much. Jumping in here, going beyond the fairway with Will Lowry and myself. We thank you so much. Continued blessings, and however you need us to help you grow the game, we are in. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Take care of yourself. See you next time.
Doug, that was Annika Sorenstam.
Yes, it was.
The greatest. We just talked to a GOAT. Mm-hmm. Doug, we talked to some GOATs. We talked to Jerry Rice.
GOAT. He even got fuel.
He got great transition. We talked to, shout out to GOAT Fuel, his sports drink that he's making a mass production around the country. We also talked to Steph Curry, GOAT. But in the golf world, none of them top the great Annika Sorenstam.
Nope. No question. I don't think anybody can actually top her rap foursome. Think about this. Drake, Nicki Minaj, Eminem, and Beyonce's husband.
Beyonce husband. Beyonce. If the husband, if Jay-Z wife was there in the crowd, that'd be a great foursome. And then just imagine watching Nicki Minaj walk up the tee box. That'd just walking off the tee box would be an event itself.
Carry the two. Yeah. That was a nice moment. Thank you for that moment of zen. Nicki Minaj walking down the fairway.
Yeah.
In the ropes.
Or in the ropes. And Nicki Minaj getting out of a bunker. I mean, it'd be just great golf. Great theater.
I love this topic, Will, because as Mike Tirico said, be aware of the edge, but don't fall off the cliff.
I'm not falling off the cliff. All I'm saying is those some good shots that could be had.
Yes. Memorable moments following Nicki Minaj around this golf course. And maybe Annika, if anybody can get through the 2 gloves champagne Poppy Drake, maybe it's Annika. Like, maybe she could get him to finally play it correct and like put 1 glove on, or I don't know. But Will, like on some real, we did talk to a GOAT, and that was super dope. But I like the fire. Right? Annika still got fire. You brought up today's game with Annika, and she was kind of like, you know what, I probably still bust a couple, 2 or 3 women's ass. I mean, she played in the U.S. Women's Senior. You can't tell me that didn't stoke her interest a little bit to see, you know what, hey, Lydia Cole, Nelly, and Jessica Korda, I still got what it take to bust y'all's ass, and I might just pull up on you. I'm still Annika.
But the thing about it is, I just remember coming up watching Annika when her and Kari Webb were the 2 that were going back and forth, right? I see Danielle King and I see the Korda sisters. I believe that Annika still can fit in, and you know her competitiveness transcends generations. Like, I can see it. And when I saw her on that driving range at, you know, whether it was Diamond Resort as well as American Century, like she really confirmed she was putting work in, Doug. Like, she was really putting work in, you know. And her husband, Mr. Mike McGee, was in the, you know, watching every move and watching, you know, every swing. And I really took notice of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see her a little more in the future. I know she got a lot going on. She's doing good for the golf game, but I think we're gonna see her a little more.
Annika and her son Will are kind of like Tiger and Charlie, right? Like, you know, it was a big deal when Charlie got to see Tiger win, you know, the Masters in 2019. I think it was a big deal for Will to see Annika win the U.S. Women's Senior Open. But there's got to be something though, Will. When you're practicing, you got your kid around, your kid watching, your kid thinking that I can do that. There's got to be some added pressure as a parent for you to be like, you know what? Hold on, little homie. I've done this 72 times, cuz. Like, hold up. I've won 10 majors. Sit your little ass down and shut up. And grown folk talking. That's all I'm saying.
But hey, you cannot be what you don't see. When you got your mama, I'm sorry, we're getting to the different side. When you got your mama out here putting in work, out here, you know, swinging all 14 clubs, and one of the best to ever do it, man, that's got to ignite a fire up under Will's bottom. I mean, he's only 5, but still, he's got to.
He's 10.
10. Sorry,
it's okay. Almost.
Well, half of 5 or half of 10.
I was in the interview. I don't know if you were there with me.
Did he say 5 or did she say 10? She didn't say her age. Oh, well, we got to cut that out. What?
Hey, Will was just mesmerized being, you know, in the presence of the GOAT. You know, I can dig it. I don't. Hey, Annika's
you know
cool
what? I didn't hear the U.S. kids golf. Hey, one thing I do want to comment on. Did you read about the Greg Norman, you know, bringing back this global golf tour? Like, did you see that this might be coming back? Or he's bringing the concept back. I know he thought about the concept earlier in the early 90s, but he is about to be like the CEO of this Saudi-backed group that is really pretty much going to fund this whole global golf tour. You know, I'll be 100% with you. I've seen it and read it, but I haven't really dove into it. I'm more looking to see like what's this flagship event going to be? Are they going to do? When's it gonna happen, man? Everybody keeps talking about some moves. It's like moving paper around. You know what I'm saying? Like, Greg Norman named it. When's the golf gonna be played? Where's the money? When's the cash changing hand? Until I see something like that, I ain't messing with this whole situation. Doug, is backed by a Saudi group. I think the money's there. You know,
it's fine. Okay.
I just think the money's there. I think it's going to happen. I just think it's going to happen. One thing that really baffles me is that when they said that Greg said, you know, they promised to holistically improve the health of professional golf on a global scale. I don't know what that means exactly, because I think every professional golfer I see looks healthy. Well, especially maybe not PGA Tour, because I was a professional golfer. It was nothing healthy about me.
Why don't they let people like us go play for $30 million? You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead and just give the PGA some money. Just bring us to Saudi Arabia, and let's play. I tell you what, though, Will, all this money on that Saudi tour, you can't tell me Annika don't want a little piece of that. You know what I'm saying? She got to be like, hold on now, hold up. Now y'all want to bring the big bags out? I might live at Lake Nona and I might have 17 brands of things that I'm doing, but now y'all want to bring the big bags out? Okay. All right.
If there ever were a chance to make a global women's golf tour, Annika could do it. I'm not saying Greg can't do it. I'm not saying it won't be successful if Mr. Norman, now that he has his hands on this. But if a global women's golf tour, Miss Annika, that's the one to make it happen.
I'll tell you what, though, Will, calling her Annika to her face felt very awkward. I'm not going to lie.
It was supposed to be Miss Stormstand.
Yeah, it's like you grow up seeing her, and it's like you want to say, like, Miss Sorenstam or Miss Annika or Miss Goat. Like,
right.
We over here talking about, like, Greg. Like, damn it, Greg. Shark.
Yeah.
Shark, do. First of all, I'm sick of that Shark song.
And you know where I'm from. On the pieces of paper I grew up reading, it wasn't Annika, it was Anika. So I'm glad you were educated now. We got that right. She's Swedish. There's no Ebonic pronunciation for Swedish. All right, we gotta wrap it up. We're in trouble.
We appreciate y'all so much. Always going beyond the fairway right here. Will Lowry and myself. Look, Annika Sorenstam coming in. You know what? Run that back. This episode needs to be rewound, shared. Give it out there. Hey, you want to holler at us? Hit us on our IG. Will, what's your IG? Let people know where they can get you, dog.
Will Lowry Golf. I have the same picture for the past 12 years on there.
Hey, it's a very consistent place for Will. They're on social media. I'm the Douglas Fresh. Holla at us next week. We'll be right here. Golf Channel NBC Sports. Beyond the Fairway.
Why do I feel like in the African American community, like there's just some new names about to come about? Quinoa. You think quinoa can actually live in the African American community name? Quinoa Johnson for the birdie here at 12.
If it's next to if Whole Foods makes it to the hood, then yes, I think that's possible.